The day my father destroyed my career in art curation, I learned that standing up for what's right comes with a devastating price. I sat frozen in his expansive corner office at the Thompson Gallery Group headquarters, watching him methodically delete my credentials from the company database. Each click of his mouse felt like a nail in the coffin of my professional future. My name is Emily Thompson, and until that moment, I'd spent 28 years trying to be the perfect daughter to one of New York's most powerful art dealers. But perfect wasn't enough anymore. You're choosing to throw away everything I've built. Dad's voice cut through the silence, his fingers hovering over the keyboard. The late afternoon sun cast harsh shadows across his mahogany desk, highlighting the growing collection of contemporary art catalogs I'd curated, now just painful reminders of what I was about to lose. Sarah's got talent, but she's naive. The market isn't ready for her kind of social commentary. Her work deserves to be seen, I said, my voice steadier than my trembling hands. What you're doing, systematically excluding emerging artists who don't fit your commercial mold. It's everything wrong with the modern art world. Wrong? He swiveled in his chair, his practiced gallery owner smile turning cold. I've built an empire by knowing what sells. Sarah's accusations about Jason stealing her concepts. Do you know what that kind of scandal could do to our reputation? Because he did steal them. The words burst out before I could stop them. I saw her original digital portfolios months before he suddenly developed the same artistic direction. I have the timestamps, Dad. The online galleries where she first posted them. Mom appeared in the doorway, her Chanel suit a perfect match for the sterile corporate environment. Emily, honey, please. Your father knows the art market better than anyone. Does he? I turned to face her, my curator's ID badge suddenly heavy around my neck. Or does he just prefer to believe Jason because he's your son and fits his idea of a proper artist? Dad's face darkened to that dangerous shade I'd learned to fear since childhood. Get out. If you want to throw your lot in with that social media activist masquerading as an artist, then you're no daughter of mine. Turn in your badge. As of now, you're fired. Robert, please, Mom whispered. But he silenced her with a look that had cowed gallery owners and artists alike. I stood, removing my badge with shaking fingers, but refusing to let him see me cry. Remember this moment, Dad. Remember how you chose your empire over the truth. Leaving the gallery, I walked out of that glass and steel monument to my father's ego with nothing but my phone and my art history degrees. My Instagram notifications were already blowing up. Jason had posted another original piece that looked suspiciously like Sarah's early work. My phone buzzed with a message from Maya. My spare room's yours if you need it. Already drafting the social media strategy for your comeback. Sarah's apartment. Evening. That night, I drove to Sarah's small studio apartment in Brooklyn. Street art covered the building's facade. A fitting home for an artist who refused to be silenced. She opened the door, her dark eyes red-rimmed from crying, paint still streaked across her vintage t-shirt. Emily? What are you doing here? I stood up for you, I said, holding up a bottle of wine I'd grabbed from the bodega downstairs. And now I need a drink. We settled on her paint-splattered couch, surrounded by canvases that told stories of resistance and rebirth. Her latest series, digital prints merged with traditional paintings, covered every wall. the same series Jason had somehow coincidentally echoed in his latest gallery showing, launching his career while sabotaging hers. "I never asked you to sacrifice everything," Sarah said, pouring cheap Cabernet into coffee mugs. A far cry from the crystal glasses at Dad's gallery openings. Her laptop sat open on the coffee table, displaying her latest Instagram post. A mere 200 likes compared to Jason's 50,000. "You didn't have to." I took a long sip, scrolling through the comments on her work. "I'm tired of watching him destroy authentic voices just because they don't fit his algorithm for success. What will you do now?" I gestured to her latest piece, a phoenix rising from a sea of broken screens and social media icons, its wings spread wide against a blood-red sky. "We're going to take everything back. Your art, my reputation, all of it." "We?" "Yes, we. I've got my curator experience. You've got the talent. Let's start our own digital gallery platform." Sarah laughed, but it was a bitter sound. "Your father blacklisted me from every major online art space. Jason's got all the influencer connections. Watch me." I pulled out my phone and dialed Maya's number. "Hey, remember that empty storefront your uncle was trying to rent? The one with the perfect lighting for live streaming?" Maya's voice crackled through the speaker. "Yeah, why?" "Because I'm about to do something either really brave or really stupid." I looked at Sarah. "Want to help me prove the old guard wrong?" A slow smile spread across Sarah's face as she closed her laptop. "You're serious about this?" "Dead serious." I raised my coffee mug of wine. "To new beginnings and digital disruption. Late night planning, Emily." Sarah hesitated, wiping paint from her hands. "What if we fail?" "Then we fail on our own terms, not his." I stood up, feeling more alive than I had in years. "But we're not going to fail. We're going to build something so innovative that one day he'll have to look at what we've created and know that everything he believed about marketable art was wrong." Messages and midnight. My phone lit up with a text from Mom. "Please come back to the gallery. Your father will reconsider. We can fix this." I typed back while watching Sarah sketch preliminary designs for our website. "Nothing to fix. I'm exactly where I need to be." Then I blocked both my parents' numbers and turned to Sarah. "Tomorrow we start building our platform. Tonight we celebrate our independence." We stayed up until dawn, fueled by wine and take-out dumplings from the 24-hour place around the corner. Sarah showed me her entire digital portfolio, pieces that had been buried by Jason's aggressive SEO tactics and my father's influence over online gallery spaces. With each hour that passed, the weight of my father's rejection felt less like a burden and more like freedom. Dawn breaking. As the sun rose over Brooklyn's industrial skyline, I stood at Sarah's paint-spattered window, watching delivery trucks start their morning routes. "You know what the best revenge will be?" I said, scrolling through Maya's preliminary marketing strategy on my tablet. "What?" "Success. Pure, undeniable, viral success. And when we achieve it, we won't owe him or his outdated gallery system a single thing." Little did I know then just how sweet that revenge would taste, or how high the price of disrupting the art world would be. But standing there in that moment, watching Sarah upload her first uncensored portfolio to our new Instagram account, I felt something I hadn't experienced since my first day as a curator: hope. 3 months later, the studio, 3 months into our venture, and our hybrid gallery space looked more like a tech startup than a traditional art showcase. Mia sat cross-legged on our only real furniture, a second-hand Eames chair she'd scored from a closing gallery, watching me adjust ring lights, while Sarah arranged her latest mixed media pieces against the exposed brick wall. You know, Maya said, analyzing our latest engagement metrics, most people would have given up by now. Your follower count is growing, but we're still shadow banned on most platforms. I wiped sweat from my forehead, adjusting the camera angle for our upcoming live stream. Most people haven't met my father or his SEO team. The bell above the door chimed. We'd kept that one traditional touch. And a woman in Louboutins clicked across our unfinished concrete floor, her eyes fixed on her phone. Is this the gallery that's been causing such a stir on ArtNet? She looked up, revealing a face I recognized from countless Art World panels. I'm Margaret Chen from the Downtown Arts Coalition. It will be, I said, climbing down from the ladder. I'm Emily Thompson, and this is Sarah Miller, our featured artist. Gallery introduction. Margaret's eyes swept over Sarah's latest installation, a piece combining traditional oils with projected social media feeds, showing a woman breaking free from chains made of viral hashtags and golden verification marks. Interesting. Very raw, she mused, taking photos with her phone. But I've never seen either of you on the major gallery circuits. That's about to change, Sarah said, her voice stronger than I'd heard it in months. The constant harassment in her Instagram DMs had almost silenced her, but now she was standing tall. The Downtown Arts Coalition is hosting an NFT integrated exhibition next month. Margaret handed me her business card. Normally, we only invite established galleries, but she gestured to Sarah's piece, which she'd been documenting on her phone. How much? 3,000, I said without hesitation, ignoring Sarah's sharp intake of breath. We had priced it high intentionally. In this world, price often equaled legitimacy. Margaret raised an eyebrow, checking our gallery's social media presence on her phone. For an unknown artist, for a masterpiece. I met her gaze steadily. Look at how she integrates traditional techniques with digital elements. That's not just art. It's commentary on the very system that tried to silence her. She studied the piece for another long moment, the glow of her phone illuminating her thoughtful expression. 2,500, and I want exclusive rights to debut it on our platform. Done? She pulled out her phone to arrange the transfer. And I'll add you to the exhibition roster. Don't make me regret this. Celebration time. After she left, Sarah grabbed my arms, her paint-stained fingers leaving marks on my blazer. Are you insane? That piece wasn't even finished. It is now. I grinned, showing her Margaret's social media post about us already gaining traction. We just made our first legitimate sale. Maya clapped, already updating our analytics dashboard. This calls for celebration. I'm ordering pizza and posting this milestone. Later that evening, surrounded by empty pizza boxes and laptops displaying our growing online presence, Maya helped us crunch numbers. Okay, with Margaret's payment and our growing Patreon support, you can cover this month's rent and still have enough for upgraded streaming equipment. Evening strategy session. Barely, I muttered, looking at our dwindling startup fund. Our streaming equipment costs were eating into our reserves faster than anticipated. You need more publicity, Maya said, pulling up our analytics dashboard. I know this art tech blogger who— No, Sarah interrupted, her hands trembling slightly. No more publicity right now. What if Jason sees it and tries to copy this series too? Let him see it, I said, my voice hard with determination. Let them all see it. Maya, call your blogger friend. It's time to make some noise they can't silence. Gallery opening week. The next week passed in a blur of preparations. We worked 18-hour days, transforming the space into something that almost resembled a professional hybrid gallery. Almost. Between setting up the live streaming equipment and arranging Sarah's physical pieces, we barely slept. On opening night, exactly 6 people showed up in person. 1 was Maya, 2 were her parents, and the others were tourists looking for directions to a nearby coffee shop. Our live stream, however, had a modest but engaged 50 viewers. Well, this physical turnout is depressing, Maya said, munching on cheap cheese cubes while monitoring the stream chat. It's just the beginning, I insisted, but my voice wavered as I watched our viewer count fluctuate. Then the door opened, and my mother walked in, looking out of place in her designer outfit among our industrial chic decor. Mom, she looked around nervously, clutching her Prada bag. Your father doesn't know I'm here. Of course he doesn't. I crossed my arms, feeling the weight of my gallery owner ID card, this time one I'd printed myself. Why are you? Because. She pulled an envelope from her purse. Because I saved this from your trust fund before he froze it. Inside was a check for $5,000. I tried to hand it back. I can't. Please. Her voice cracked. Let me do this one thing right. I've seen what he's been doing to your online presence. Unexpected visitors. Before I could respond, the door chimed again. This time it was the tech blogger Maya had contacted, accompanied by a professional live streaming crew. Perfect timing, Maya called out, already in PR mode. Sarah, show them your latest transmedia series. As Sarah led them through the gallery, explaining how each piece bridged the digital-physical divide, Mom squeezed my hand. You've built something revolutionary here. It's not enough, I whispered, watching our viewer count. Not yet. It will be. She kissed my cheek. I have to go, but Emily, she paused at the door. I'm proud of you. Digital breakthrough. 2 days later, the blog post went live, accompanied by a viral TikTok that captured Sarah's interactive art pieces. By that evening, our phones wouldn't stop buzzing with notifications. The next morning, 3 pieces sold through our digital platform before noon. Holy, Maya said, refreshing our analytics dashboard. The post went viral. We're trending in the art tech space. Sarah burst through the door, her tablet displaying endless social media alerts. Have you seen the comments? They actually get it. They understand what we're trying to say. I was about to respond when a new email popped up. My hands shook as I read it. What? Faith and Sarah asked simultaneously. The new museum's digital art initiative. I looked up, barely breathing. They want to feature Sarah's Breaking Free series in their Emerging Artist Showcase next month. Full virtual and physical exhibition. Sarah collapsed into our single designer chair. That's impossible. Your father's connections. That's karma, Maya said, already drafting social media announcements. And genuine talent beating artificial hype. I printed the email and pinned it to our inspiration wall, right next to screenshots of our first online sale. No, that's just the beginning. Now let's make them remember our names in both physical and digital spaces. Momentum building. The universe, it seemed, had finally decided to deal us a winning hand in both the traditional and digital art worlds. We just had to be brave enough to play it across all platforms. 2 years later, magazine feature, Breaking Barriers. The Unstoppable Rise of Digital Traditional Artist Sarah Miller. I stared at the Art Forum digital cover on my tablet, still unable to believe it was real. The photo showed Sarah in our now thriving hybrid gallery space, surrounded by her latest mixed media installations, each piece seamlessly blending physical art with augmented reality elements. They actually credited me properly, Sarah whispered, touching her tablet screen. Not just my work, but my entire artistic vision. 2 years had transformed our shabby storefront into one of New York's most talked about experimental art spaces. The exposed brick walls now hosted pieces that regularly sold for 5 figures, each installation drawing both physical visitors and virtual audiences worldwide through our custom streaming platform. Maya burst through the door, balancing her laptop with one hand and a carrier of artisanal coffee in the other. Have you seen our wait list for virtual commissions? The queue for our installations is insane. I can't keep up with the demand, Sarah admitted, running her fingers through her paint-streaked hair. Maybe we should consider confrontation. The gallery door chimed. A familiar voice made my blood freeze. Quite an innovative space you've built here, Emily. I turned slowly. Dad. He stood there in his perfectly tailored suit, looking exactly as he had the day he'd fired me. Beside him, Jason shifted uncomfortably, his phone conspicuously dark for once. What do you want? I asked, my voice steady despite my racing heart. Can't a father visit his successful daughter? He spread his arms wide, taking in our hybrid exhibition space. I've been following your metrics. Very impressive engagement numbers, really. Sarah stepped forward, her tablet displaying side by side comparisons of her original works and Jason's inspired pieces. Because last I checked, you were still telling everyone I was a digital art fraud. Jason at least had the decency to look ashamed. Listen about those posts. Save it. I cut him off. Unless you're here to buy something or book a virtual tour, we're actually quite busy. The proposal, actually, Dad smiled his practiced gallerist smile. I'm here to discuss an opportunity. The Thompson Gallery Group is launching a digital art initiative. We'd like to feature your hybrid gallery as our flagship partner. Maya snorted, not looking up from her analytics dashboard. You mean now that they've proven disruptive technology can't be ignored, you want a piece of the algorithm? This could be beneficial for everyone, Dad continued, ignoring her. Think of the exposure, the established collector network, like the networks you used to shadow ban me? Sarah's voice shook, her tablet displaying screenshots of old takedown notices. To make sure no legitimate platform would touch my digital art. The past is the past, Dad waved dismissively. I'm offering you legitimacy in the traditional space. I laughed, and it wasn't a happy sound. Legitimacy? We built that ourselves while you were busy trying to delete us from the art world's algorithm. Be reasonable, Emily. This merger could. No. I walked to the door and held it open. our digital visitor counter ticking up, even as I prepared to remove 2 physical ones. We earned every bit of this success, despite your platform manipulation, not because of it. Now get out. You're making a mistake, he warned. The only mistake I made was spending 28 years trying to earn your approval instead of building something authentic. After they left, Maya let out a low whistle. That was better than any reality show live stream. Warning signs. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. He's furious. His team is planning something. Protect your platforms. I showed it to Sarah. We need to prepare. He won't let this digital disruption go unchallenged. Let him try something, Maya said, already typing on her tablet. I'm calling my contact at TechCrunch. It's time people knew the whole story of art world gatekeeping. Exhibition preparations. The next few weeks were a blur of exhibition preparations and platform security updates. We worked around the clock, transforming both our physical gallery and virtual space into a testament to artistic resilience in the digital age. One evening, as we were setting up the augmented reality overlays for the final pieces, a young digital artist approached Sarah. Your hybrid work saved my career, she said quietly. I was about to give up after being blacklisted from traditional galleries, but your art installations showed me a new way forward. Sarah hugged her, both of them crying, while the girl's own digital art flickered beautifully on her tablet. I stepped away to give them privacy and found Maya monitoring our security protocols. You know what the best part is, she said. Every time your father tries to claim credit for the digital art revolution, there are hundreds of stories like that proving him wrong. Opening night. The opening night of the show was packed, both physically and virtually. Art critics, collectors, tech journalists, and thousands of online viewers filled our hybrid space. I spotted Mom in the crowd, trying to be inconspicuous while streaming the event on her phone. Ladies and gentlemen, both here and online, I addressed the room and our global audience, my voice carrying over the buzz of conversation and chat notifications. Tonight isn't just about art. It's about breaking down barriers between traditional and digital spaces, about standing up when the establishment tries to silence new voices. Sarah joined me at the podium, her latest art piece floating beautifully above us. Every piece in this collection tells a story of survival, of fighting back, of refusing to let others define your worth in any medium. The crowd erupted in applause as cameras flashed and our stream exploded with supportive comments. I saw Dad watching from outside the gallery windows, his expression unreadable as he stared at our visitor counter, displaying both physical and virtual attendance numbers. Late night victory. Later that night, after the last physical guest left and our stream finally ended, we sat on the gallery floor, sharing champagne. We did it, Sarah said, raising her glass. We really did it. My phone buzzed with a news alert. The headline read, Thompson Gallery Group under investigation for digital art market manipulation. Maya peered over my shoulder and grinned. Karma's a funny thing in the digital age, isn't it? I thought about Dad's face at the window, about all the years of dismissal and doubt. The best revenge isn't just success, I said. It's success that helps others find their voice in any medium they choose. We clinked our glasses together, celebrating not just our triumph, but the sweet taste of justice served in both physical and digital spaces. 3 years later, family wedding. The invitation to my cousin Sarah's wedding appeared in both my physical and digital mailbox. The elegant e-card animation, as threatening as its paper twin. 3 years had passed since I'd seen most of my family, and now here I was, staring at gold embossed cardstock and a perfectly designed digital invitation that threatened to drag me back into their world. "You don't have to go," Maya said, perched on the edge of my desk, analyzing the wedding's social media presence. "Send a nice gift and a heartfelt Instagram story." I do, though. I picked up the physical invitation. Sarah stood by us when everyone else was mass unfollowing. Wedding day. The day of the wedding arrived with perfect June weather and knots in my stomach. I adjusted my designer dress, bought with proceeds from our latest virtual exhibition, because sometimes the best revenge is looking incredible in both real life and social media tags. "Emily." Cousin Sarah rushed over, her wedding dress rustling. "You came. Wouldn't miss it." I hugged her carefully. "You look beautiful." "She does, doesn't she?" I turned to find Jason standing there, looking uncomfortable in his groomsman's tux, his ever-present phone notably absent. "Hello, Emily." "Jason." My voice could have frozen his next viral post. "I saw your gallery made the cover of Art Tech Monthly," he said, shifting his weight. "Sarah's hybrid work is. It's really something." "Yes, it is. The same innovative approach you once claimed as your own in your inspired posts." Sarah touched my arm. "Please, not today." "Of course." I forced a smile. "Your day. Your rules." Reception tension. The ceremony was beautiful, but I felt eyes and smartphone cameras on me throughout. Whispers, stares, judgment. During the reception, I kept to the edges of the room until Mom found me. "You look stunning," she said, touching my hair. "The gallery's digital presence is incredible, you know." "It is. I see you liking all our posts." She glanced around nervously. "Your father's business. It's not good, Emily. The investigation into platform manipulation is his own doing." I sipped my champagne. "He made his choices. He wants to talk to you about a digital partnership." "No." I set my glass down harder than intended. "I'm not his backup plan for entering the modern art world." Confrontation at the reception. "Emily." Dad's voice behind me made me stiffen. "We need to discuss this like adults." I turned to face him. He looked older, tired. The investigation into his digital market manipulation was clearly taking its toll. "There's nothing to discuss," I said, watching the wedding guests discreetly filming with their phones. "Your platform is dying, and you want my gallery's digital innovation to save it." The answer is no. "You ungrateful," he caught himself, aware of nearby guests and potential social media exposure. "Everything I did was for this family's legacy in the art world." "No, everything you did was for your ego." I stepped closer. "You protected Jason when he stole Sarah's digital concepts. You blacklisted her work across platforms. You tried to erase our online presence when I stood up to you. And now that we've succeeded despite your algorithmic warfare, you want to pretend it was all part of your grand digital strategy?" "The Thompson Gallery Network is your heritage," he hissed. "Your birthright." "My birthright?" I laughed. "You made it very clear what you thought of my birthright when you deleted my credentials and tried to bury our gallery in search results. Family confrontation. A small crowd had gathered, phones poorly concealed. Mom touched Dad's arm. "Not here, Robert. Listen to your daughter," came a new voice. Sarah stood there in a stunning red dress, Maya beside her with our latest engagement metrics ready. "She built something beautiful from your attempts to silence us. Don't try to take credit for it now." Dad's face darkened. "You weren't invited." "I invited them." Cousin Sarah stepped forward. "Because they're family too, Uncle Robert. The family you tried to erase from the digital art world." The silence was deafening. Dad looked around at the watching faces and their ready phones, then straightened his tie. "This isn't over." "Yes, it is." I took Sarah's arm. "Congratulations, Sarah. I'm sorry we disrupted your day." Unexpected confession. As we turned to leave, Jason called out, "Sarah, wait." He rushed forward, pulling up something on his tablet. I just posted a public confession about your artwork. A full thread admitting everything. It's yours if you want it." Sarah took the tablet with trembling hands. "Why now?" "Because I'm tired of faking engagement and stealing concepts." He looked at Dad. "We all are." Outside the wedding venue, outside in the warm evening air, Maya whistled low. Well, that was more viral worthy than any staged gallery opening. "Are you okay?" I asked Sarah, who was still scrolling through Jason's confession thread, watching the retweets multiply. "I don't know." She smiled slightly. "But I think I will be." The comments are overwhelmingly supportive. My phone buzzed, a text from Cousin Sarah. "Thank you for coming and for showing me what real artistic integrity looks like." I looked at Sarah and Maya, my chosen family, then back at the wedding venue where my blood family was dealing with the aftermath of digital truth. "Let's go home," I said. "We have a gallery to run and a new art world to build." Driving away. As we drove away, Sarah checked our latest platform metrics on her tablet. I caught a glimpse of Dad watching from the venue steps, his phone dark in his hand for once. For the first time, I felt no anger, no desire for revenge, just pity for a man who'd built his empire on artificial engagement and was watching it crumble under the weight of authentic connection. The best revenge, after all, wasn't just success. It was finding peace despite those who tried to silence your voice across every platform. Crisis alert. What do you mean someone hacked our cloud storage? I gripped my phone tighter, pacing the gallery floor as our screens flickered with warning messages. "How is that possible?" Maya typed frantically on her laptop. "They're trying to corrupt our entire digital archive. The transfer logs show activity at 3:00. Nearly everything in our virtual gallery is being targeted." Sarah burst through the door, face pale. "The NFT certificates for the Miami show. Someone's trying to invalidate them. They've launched a massive denial of service attack against our platform." I didn't need to ask who. Only one person had enough spite and resources to orchestrate this level of digital warfare. "Your father's getting desperate," Maya said, still coding defensive measures. "The market manipulation investigation must be worse than we thought." Emergency response. My phone rang. Mom's number. I answered on speaker while watching Maya deploy our backup servers. "Emily, please listen," she said, her voice shaking. "He's not thinking clearly. The tech fraud investigators are closing in, and he's trying to crash everything. Again, I finished. Let me guess, he said if I just agreed to the merger. Stop defending him. The words exploded out of me. He's trying to destroy our entire platform, Mom. That's what your husband does. He destroys what he can't control and calls it business strategy. Legal notice. The gallery door chimed. A courier handed me a tablet to sign. Legal documents delivered electronically and in hard copy. As I read, my hands started shaking. What is it? Sarah asked, still working to protect our digital archives. He's suing us, claiming we built our success using proprietary algorithms from his gallery group. I threw the papers down. He's trying to take the gallery, both physical and virtual spaces. Maya stood up from her battle station. Not if we take him down first. Remember that confession Jason posted? Sarah pulled up the viral thread on her tablet. You think? I think it's time to stop playing defense. Maya grabbed her phone. I'm calling every tech journalist I know. Anonymous tip. The next few hours were chaos. Our lawyer arrived, followed by cybersecurity experts taking statements about the hack attempts. Tech reporters started calling. Social media exploded. Then my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Cloud backup location. Near 247. Encryption key 1983. What you need is there. Jason, I breathed. Maya, can you access it? Evidence discovery. The backup server was hidden in a secure cloud location. When we accessed it, we found terabytes of data, years of digital records from the Thompson Gallery Group. Holy, Maya whispered, scanning through the files. This is everything. Every manipulated review, every artificial engagement boost, including what he did to Sarah's early work, I asked. Especially that. She pulled up a folder. Emails proving he orchestrated her shadow banning and threatened platforms that tried to host her work. Gallery, Crisis Command Center. Back at the gallery, we found Sarah talking to a cybersecurity detective. The trace worked, she said. They've isolated the attack vectors and are freezing all unauthorized access. We've got something better. I connected Jason's drive to our main display. Dad's entire digital house of cards. The call. My phone rang again. Dad this time. I answered on speaker. You think you're clever, he snarled, playing with systems you don't understand. I understand perfectly, I replied, watching Maya back up the evidence to secure servers. You're going down, and you're trying to corrupt our data along with yours. But guess what? We have proof of everything. You wouldn't dare watch me. I hung up. Night of truth. That night, we worked with tech journalists, cybersecurity experts, and investigators, systematically laying out the evidence. By morning, it was everywhere. Social media, tech blogs, art news sites, mainstream platforms. Thompson Gallery Group CEO accused of systematic digital art market manipulation and artist suppression. Aftermath. Mom showed up around noon, looking exhausted. They've arrested him, she said quietly. The cyber crimes unit came this morning. Mom, I started, but she held up her hand. No, let me finish. I've spent years watching him destroy careers, manipulate platforms, hurt you. I'm done. She pulled out a USB drive. This is everything from his private servers, bot networks, engagement manipulation scripts, everything. Sarah gasped. Call me Madison. She straightened her shoulders. It's time I chose the right side. Moving forward, as she left, Maya looked at her watch. The Miami Digital Art Fair opens in 3 days. What do you want to do? I looked at Sarah. What do you think? She walked to her latest hybrid installation. A phoenix rising from a sea of corrupted data, more powerful than ever. I think we show them exactly who we are. Then let's do it right. I picked up my phone. Cousin Sarah, remember how you said you wanted to help? How fast can you get to Miami? The following days. The next few days were a blur of platform security upgrades, press statements, and legal meetings. But standing in the Miami exhibition space on opening night, watching Sarah's hybrid art installations shine while Dad's digital empire crumbled on every news feed, I felt something shift inside me. To Karma, Maya raised her champagne glass, her tablet showing our soaring engagement metrics. To family, Mom added, joining our circle. To authenticity, Sarah said. Reflection. I looked around at these strong women who'd stood by me, who'd helped turn revenge into digital revolution. To all of it, I said, and to whatever comes next. Because sometimes the sweetest victory isn't in watching your enemies' platforms crash. It's in building something so innovative they can't touch you anymore. Courthouse steps. The courthouse steps were crowded with reporters and live streamers when Dad was let out in handcuffs. I watched from across the street, sipping coffee with Maya and Sarah while monitoring the live coverage on our tablets. 15 years, Maya read from the verdict notification. Plus full restitution to all artists affected by market manipulation. Look at him, Sarah whispered. He still thinks he's untouchable, even in prison orange. Dad walked with his head high, ignoring questions, until one reporter shouted, Mr. Thompson, any comment on your daughter's testimony about digital art suppression? He stopped dead. His eyes found me across the street, and for a moment I saw raw hatred there. You did this, he shouted. My own blood. Officers pulled him toward the waiting van. I raised my coffee cup in a mock toast, watching our gallery's visitor counter tick steadily upward on my phone. Media frenzy. Miss Thompson. Reporters swarmed toward us. Phones and cameras extended. How does it feel to expose the largest art market manipulation scheme in the digital age? No comment. Maya stepped between us. My client is focusing on our gallery's upcoming international virtual expansion. Gallery. Later, back at the gallery, I found Mom waiting. She looked smaller somehow, older, her tablet clutched tightly in her hands. The penthouse is being seized, she said without preamble. All the digital assets are frozen. You can stay with me, I offered. She shook her head. Cousin Sarah's offered her guest house. I need time to figure out who I am without his influence. Mom, hidden truth. But first, she pulled out a thick folder and her tablet. There's something you should see. Inside were photos and archived posts, dozens of them. Me winning digital art curation awards, screenshots of my early gallery reviews, backups of my first virtual exhibition designs. He kept these in his secure cloud storage, Mom said. Along with this, she showed me a digital document, dated the day he fired me. It was a draft of a succession plan, preparing to hand me control of the gallery's digital transformation. "He was proud of you," she said softly. "He just couldn't bear that you succeeded without his platform." "That's not pride." I closed the document. "That's control." Unexpected visit. The gallery door chimed. Jason walked in, looking nervous, his phone conspicuously absent for once. "Before you block me," he said quickly, "I need to say something." Sarah emerged from her studio, paint and pixels swirling around her latest art piece. "I'm sorry," he continued, "to both of you. I was a coward, and I let him turn me into someone who betrayed the very essence of digital art." "Why help us now?" I asked. "Because watching you two build something authentic, something truly innovative," he shrugged. "It made me realize what I threw away. New beginnings. If you're looking for forgiveness." Sarah started, her R installation flickering behind her. "I'm not. I'm looking to make amends." He pulled up his portfolio on his tablet. "I'm teaching digital art at the youth center now. These kids, they remind me of us before everything went wrong. They need mentors in the hybrid art space." Maya, who'd been unusually quiet, monitoring our platforms, spoke up. "We were actually discussing a community outreach program." "We were?" I looked at her. "We are now." She grinned, pulling up a project template. "Think about it. Hybrid art classes for underprivileged youth, virtual gallery scholarships, mentoring programs, using Dad's restitution money to help young digital artists. That's more than poetic justice," I mused. "It's transformative. It's breaking the cycle," Sarah said, her latest R installation shimmering with new energy. Mom touched my arm. "This is who you've always been, Emily. Even as a child, you tried to bridge gaps and lift others up." Planning session. The next few hours were spent brainstorming. By evening, we had the framework for a foundation, a real one, built on empowering artists instead of controlling them. My phone buzzed with a message from Dad's legal team. "He wants a virtual visit." "Are you going to accept?" Maya asked, reading over my shoulder. "No." I put the phone away. "I'm done letting him dictate my presence in any space." "Good," Sarah said, "because we have work to do." She unveiled her latest hybrid piece, a massive canvas merged with dynamic R elements, showing hands reaching up through corrupted code toward pure light. "It's for the youth center," she explained, "to show them there's always a path through the digital noise." Breaking news. Speaking of up, Maya interrupted, looking at our latest analytics. "Have you seen today's numbers? The Miami hybrid exhibition metrics are insane." "Because people love an underdog story," Jason said. "No," I corrected him. "Because people love authentic art in any medium." Mom hugged me goodbye, whispering, "I'm so proud of who you've become in both worlds." Evening reflection. As the sun set, casting long shadows through the gallery windows, while our R installations painted the walls with dancing light, I looked at these people, my chosen family, my reformed adversaries, my supporters. We'd turned revenge into renaissance, pain into purpose. Maya raised her ever-present coffee cup. "To second chances." Jason added, "To building something better." Sarah said, "To authentic art." I thought about Dad in his cell, still believing in control and manipulation, still not understanding that true strength comes from empowering others, not suppressing them. To all of it, I said, and to the kids who never have to fight the system like we did. Final thoughts. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't just proving someone wrong. I watched a group of young artists from Jason's program explore our latest art installation, their faces lit with wonder. It's creating something so right that it heals not just you, but everyone around you. Sarah adjusted the projection mapping on her latest piece. That's a victory worth fighting for. Maya checked our engagement metrics one last time, in both physical and digital spaces. In every space, I agreed, watching the future of art unfold before us in perfect hybrid harmony.